My regrets look just like texts I shouldn't send. And I got neighbors, they're more like strangers, we could be friends. I just need a way out of my head. I'll do anything for a way out.
Welcome to Around the 412. I am your host, Tyler, and with me is Smitty and Herb. What's up, guys?
That's not Tyler's voice.
Not much, man. Thank God it's not. I needed a break from his voice. So, first question: what was your draft? What was the draft process like for you?
The draft process was it was good, man. I thought I was going to go second round, but it was ended up being third. So it was a little bit disappointing, but I'm just thankful I was drafted. Great organization like the Pirates. Trust the bucking process.
Oh no, that shirt's ruined forever.
It might be. We'll wait. We have to wait and see what happens in the coming weeks here. But
yeah, good point.
All right. Well, anyway, that is not Tyler. With us tonight is Anthony DiNardo from DiNardo's Dugout.
And by with us, he means over the phone.
Yeah, over the phone. Well, I'm over the phone too.
Yeah.
So. But anyways. If anybody didn't see the tweet, unfortunately, due to something that we couldn't control, we're not joined this week by Pirates prospect Travis Swaggerty. When we scheduled him to come on, we didn't know that he was going to be playing in the All-Star game and that it was going to be this week or whatever, and it just didn't work out. I mean, he has a day filled with events today and then the game tomorrow, so it just didn't work out, so we're going to plan for that to be another day. But it is what it is, and thanks, DiNardo, for joining us.
Yeah, man. A big role to fill, I'm sure. I'm going to try to bring the swag, So I might not be Swaggerty, might not be Tyler here, but I'm going to try my best to bring the swag they both would bring combined.
As long as you don't say anything like Tyler did when we told him that he wasn't going to be able when Swaggerty wasn't going to be able to come on.
Oh, God.
He just gave us some Smash Mouth lyrics. So
what? Smash Mouth lyrics? Are you for real?
He said, "Hey, now you're an all-star. Get your game on. Go play."
See that's the decline right there. That's not the swag that needs to be brought.
I told him that Swaggerty was very apologetic about not being able to do it and stuff and having to reschedule. And that was his response.
Smash Mouth. Jesus, I can't speak.
Smash Mouth.
So does Tyler, does he still listen to Smash Mouth? Does anyone really listen to Smash Mouth?
You haven't seen the memes?
The Oakland A's.
Yeah, the Oakland A's.
Oh, wait. I do recall something about the A's and Smash Mouth. Where'd that come from?
Didn't they have Twitter beef?
Yeah.
Weren't they going at it on Twitter?
That was a year ago,
I think you're right. Yeah. Damn,
the verified account and Smash Mouth.
Smash Mouth likes to get into it with people, man.
They do. Yeah, they're very controversial on Twitter.
I mean, they need to stay relevant somehow.
Listen, when All-Star is that big of a hit,
got Tyler here.
Like a decade and a half after it came out.
What's that? What did you say?
When All-Star's still a big hit a decade and a half after it came out, I don't think they need to be doing that.
Yeah, mainly just because of Shrek.
But I love it.
I wouldn't even know who Smash Mouth was if it wasn't for the movie Shrek, so.
Yeah.
But anyway, speaking of trying to stay relevant however they can, apparently Mark Madden just hates everybody.
Anyone that isn't white, he hates.
He has to just stay relevant somehow. Well, first off, he is Pittsburgh, so he really doesn't need to do this.
Yeah.
But apparently his targets now are Juju and even as of recently Antonio Brown. And we have more on him later. But just going for his throat about being late for his appointment his meeting at the hospital where he's supposed to meet and greet with those kids and stuff like that, and just now calling out his character. And apparently Juju has too much fun for his liking. So, yeah, this is Mark Madden's new thing, I guess.
Who would have thought a 300-pound, 60-year-old white dude doesn't like fun?
I don't know.
But what do you guys think about this? I mean, what's your takes?
I want Mark Madden to just shut up and sit down.
If y'all, so everyone out there listening, if you don't know me, I despise Mark Madden. Just absolutely despise the man. So, I'm on North Shore 9. I'm on Denard's dugout. So let's put it this way. North Shore 9 is more of the PG-13 version of the things I say.
Yes.
On Denard's dugout, it gets very R-rated. And I hold back on the way I say things on North Shore 9. But, of course, we go at Mark Madden all the time. And seriously, this is what's funny. Mark Madden is a big reason I think that the North Shore 9 exists, if you want me to be honest. Ryan and I used to go at him on our personal accounts all the time. And we're just sick of, not having a voice, per se. So the North Shore 9 created. But I can't stand – I'll put it this way. It's funny, there's a lot of correlation between Mark Madden and Trump. And I almost view them in the same aspect. They're both actually really intelligent people. Trump's really intelligent because, everything he does is calculated. You might not like him. You might hate him for his policies or whatever. But he's a smart man. And so is Mark Madden. He's smart in what he says because he plays his part well. He's relevant because people hate him. And I can only, I guess, respect him for that, but I hate him as a person. He's a piece of trash. Terrible human being. Going after Juju Smith because he likes to have fun. He was the youngest player in the NFL last year.
Yeah.
And so what now? He's
just recently turned 21.
Sorry. Oh, my bad. He's 21 now.
Yeah.
So the kid likes to have fun. Does he get the job done?
Yes.
And then some.
Did we see that catch in preseason? I'm not even a Steeler fan. I'm actually a Dolphins fan, sadly.
Yeah.
I saw that catch in preseason.
And then all of a sudden it was like, oh great, he can do that in preseason. What do you want him to do? Not do it in preseason? Should he have not had a touchdown catch in the preseason?
I just hate how people have to hate on people for no goddamn reason.
He did nothing to warrant hate. You can think he's annoying or whatever, for all the YouTube videos and the stuff that he does on his Instagram and Snapchat or whatever. If anybody's friends with him and they see that stuff, it's one thing to think he's annoying, but to just bash the dude and it's not affecting his play at all. I don't get it.
I'm right there with you. It would be different if you clearly saw the correlation that he's just a goofball and it affects his gameplay. It's funny because I look at Juju the same way I almost look at Chad Johnson, and those are big shoes to fill for Chad Johnson. But Juju so far in his first year as a rookie, it looked really solid in how he performed. But it's I almost feel like this came to him, his personality and just what happened. It wasn't I don't look at it he was out there trying to make a name for himself. I think things just happened, worked out, and he went with it. And good for him. Baseball. Jesus, talk about baseball all the time. Football is such a volatile game that, he could be done one day. So Are you going to really hate the guy for building his brand? Almost like the way Chad Johnson did it. But Chad Johnson, it didn't sacrifice his game. He's one of the best wide receivers that played. That footwork.
Yeah.
So I can't hate a guy for doing him. It doesn't affect this game one bit. So why are you worried? It's because you got to hate. You just got to hate on somebody.
Yeah.
And like I said, now it's kind of moved over to Antonio Brown, which the number one receiver in the entire league, obviously is not affected on the field by whatever he does off the field. And it's become a thing now with him where he's calling him out for not being as good of a person as some people think. Has a reputation of being late to events that he's supposed to do, and I get that. And but he tweeted today too. So Colin Dunlap had already put up a picture. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before of the check that Antonio Brown gave to Children's Hospital for $100,000 or whatever. And Antonio Brown quoted and said, not to mention the fact that we even called them well in advance and told them that we were going to be running late, and they were all fine with it and stuff like that. So. No, I don't think it's a good doesn't necessarily look good when he's always late to events, and I have heard that before. But it's what are other people doing for charity and stuff, and what are other people doing for the Children's Hospital that they even should have an opinion on it? You know what I mean?
Me or her?
Yeah.
Anybody.
I don't want to mess up your guys' flow here.
Oh no.
Anybody. Go ahead,
Donardo.
All right, so I'll go. I feel like I'm talking too much.
No, you're fine.
So I just I'll tell you one thing. People that are late do annoy me. Okay, you can ask Geddes, my producer on their dugout. I'm usually a very punctual person, so I can get behind someone who is constantly late to be annoyed with them. And the fact that what it was, it's a charity event, a lot of kids. I mean, I can understand the perception of you're kind of a dirtbag if you're showing up late for this stuff. I can understand that, but I'm also on the side like you are. What this guy does is pretty incredible. I mean, he gets paid some decent amount of money, more than either you and I will ever make. And, he does a lot with it. Like you said, $100,000 check, that's a lot of money to just write up. So I'm not going to, I guess, hate to a guy to that level because he's late. And maybe something did come up, which apparently, like you said, that tweet when he quoted Collins' tweet about the check, he did say that something came up and he did call the hospital. They were aware of it. I mean, whatever, I don't know. I do get the side, like you said. I mean, I do get the side of being late, but the guy.
Yeah, I mean, that part of it sucks. That's unfortunate, especially like I said. Apparently, it's something that's this isn't the first time that he's been late to an event. I mean, I see that being said often with whatever it may be, and it just so happened this time it involved kids, which makes it 10 times worse.
Of course.
But like I said too, what I don't know how people can necessarily bash him for what he does. I mean, you can say he could have done something better. You know what I mean? Like been punctual, but that doesn't take away from what he did to me. It just means he could have done it better.
Yeah, I mean, personally, for me, I'm one of those people that shows up early to everything, no matter what it is. And if somebody's late, I'll rib the hell out of them, but I don't care ultimately. Like that's the thing. If he didn't show up, you have the right to call him a dirtbag. That makes sense. This is just stupid. This is just, hey, look at me. I want your attention.
Yeah, that seemed like it was going to continue after that. But hey, look at me. I want your attention. After you said attention, it just sounded like there was just a little bit of a pause and it's going to continue. But yeah, I agree. And like we said, it's just in media in general, and especially here, I mean, people grasp at everything. So this was a perfect thing to latch onto and question the character of a guy.
Mm-hmm. And the one thing too is I think life always gives you learning opportunities, right? So, if this is something that he is constantly bad at, showing up on time, maybe this time being called out, maybe he can open up and think, all right, this is definitely a perception of mine, right? Perception is essentially reality. So, maybe I need to start showing up on time for some things. But at the same time, too, let's understand. I mean, these guys are busy. Any type of celebrity. I mean, do you want to look at what they have scheduled, what they're doing, and especially now football's starting up? He has camp. He has working out. He's coming off an injury apparently, because I'm not a big Steeler fan. So apparently he's coming off an injury out here.
Oh, we'll get to that.
and apparently he's got a bigger injury today. So, but you don't know what's going on in these guys' lives. When we come home after work and we play Fortnite. There's nothing else on our schedule. I mean, these guys are going out of the way to do this stuff. So, I mean, hopefully maybe this is a wake-up call that he can start showing up on time for things and maybe lose that perception on him. But, I mean, keep doing it. Keep doing these things. That's awesome. I'm glad he is.
Yeah, that's the thing that I was just saying. I don't want it to become a thing where he's like, okay, if no one's going to appreciate it, then why am I continuing to do it? And, stop doing it, because that would hurt the people that aren't even going after him. Unintentionally, it's going to end up affecting people that weren't even involved. Yeah. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm just saying it would be unfortunate if that did. All right, so moving on a little bit. Well, you just mentioned as well another thing with Antonio Brown. He's coming back from a little bit of a leg injury, and when the practice that we went to actually on Saturday was his first one back, and they said he's going to practice Saturday and Sunday, and then he's going to take Monday off during the team stuff. So Ed Bouchette, who covers the Steelers, tweeted that he limped off, so he may have re-aggravated it. And apparently that never happened. So Antonio Brown got on Twitter and called him out for it, and it was pretty Playerverse Media, which we just recently saw word to get us with the Jaguars with Jalen Ramsey. So I mean, this is because is there a side to take here in Playerverse Media? or is it just childish all the way around?
Can I speak?
Go Herb. Go
Yeah.
Herb.
It's childish all around, but I'll trust the player before I trust anyone else in almost anything.
I mean, my take on it is, I don't know the whole situation inside there. I don't know the whole situation in the Jaguars. So I live in Jacksonville, anyone wondering. So it was kind of funny because when the announcement yesterday came that Jalen was going to be suspended a game because of his arguments with local media. Well, I love that one, especially me being a part of the North Shore 9 and local media. I just found it quite entertaining. And I laughed about it. Like, I quoted and said LOL because, like, wow, really? Like, a guy's going out local media and the team suspended him? And then this happens. I was like, yeah. And meanwhile in Pittsburgh. So, you know, I don't know if I can claim this to be childish or whatever, because I think it just depends on, like, the situation. Listen, if I'm a guy who's putting everything on the football field, and again, going back to, this is football. I mean, this is a game where people are dying at 50, 40 years old, committing suicide because of the game. So I'm out there putting it all into this game, and I have people questioning me or I have people attacking me. Well, I'm going to attack back. You know, like, I'm not going to look at this childish. No, I'm going to attack back. So I have no problem with, I actually would love to see more players go at media. I would love to see more players stop being the PC, you know, just saying what you want to hear, and have more of, like, a personality to them. And if you're fed up with someone, I'm all for it. You know, say your piece. Jalen, man, he's something else, and he doesn't hold back. And, you know, say what you want. I love that about him. I'm not a Jaguar fan per se either, but I live here and you hear about him, and it's like, I just love it, man. He gets in an interview. He's his own dude. That's for sure. No one's going to make him change. So, you know, see that personality. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. If you're calling me out, if you're saying things that's wrong about me, I'm going to speak up.
Yeah. I'm all for it too. I mean, I got pretty into the whole, I was looking at the replies for Antonio and Ed, and it's very different depending on which one you look at. If you look at, like, Ed's, everybody's, of course, on his side. It's his followers, and Antonio Brown, they're his. And everybody's like, I don't know how you're going to call a reporter out for being like this when you're doing the exact same thing. Who's really the child here or whatever? Who's the clown? Because he called Ed a clown in his tweet. So
see, clowns started trending.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Jesus.
And this is funny. I just saw Ben Stonium put up a Tony Toe Tap in the Boosh, the You Making Shit Up Clown main event steel cage match.
Oh God.
Man. But anyway, yeah. I mean, what you said about the personalities is for sure. I mean, I definitely want to see more personality in every sport, and we're going to talk about that in baseball too. But football is actually one where they're not as limiting, at least anymore. I mean, you know, with the celebration that you can actually do now.
Right.
But yeah, I think that guys should be their own people, and I love that about Jalen, and it was good to see Antonio at least speak up. We'll see if anything comes of that. But
yeah, you know, I'm still not done with Mark Madden. So this whole Juju thing, right?
Yeah.
There's another perfect example. Like, I would just love to see Juju just go and attack Mark Madden. You know, and he probably won't, because that's not really his demeanor. I mean, he just seems like he's just ultimate. I mean, he's a Cali guy. You know, he's just ultimately in a good mood, happy. Life is lit. So he'll never really attack Mark Madden. But that'd be something I would love, because, and again, you have a guy who's just attacking his demeanor, his, you know, sincerity about the sport that he plays. And like, what kills me is Mark Madden's going out to strip clubs every night. Or at least he was, you know, tweeting at strippers, this and that. And you want, like, that's what you're doing on your side. So this guy does something. He plays Fortnite. He does videos. He's making a brand among himself in a good light. You know, there's nothing negative that you see about Juju. It's not like he's getting in off-field trouble. He's playing Fortnite and dressing up in his Steelers uniform on USC campus. You know, like, he's having fun in his off time, which everyone gets off time. And that's my biggest thing too. Like, people attacking players because, you know, well, if you're preparing more for this, I mean, do you at your job, like, when you come home from your job, do you just sit there and look at spreadsheets all day or videos and trainings? No, you have off time. Like, people need it. And that's these players' off time. And Mark Madden wants to go at him because, life is lit. So I'm lit. I'm playing Fortnite. Meanwhile, I mean, Mark Madden, if you're a big time radio host, why aren't you preparing for it? Why are you out of strip clubs every night? What's the difference?
The bottle
What's
shop.
the difference?
What?
The bottle shop.
Oh,
That's where he's always tweeting about the bottle shop thing. Yeah.
I'd never seen him down there yet. But did you guys see his tweet? I think it was the whole I Am Pittsburgh thing. He was like, "Tell me what I've done morally wrong. It's all opinionated. I've never done anything morally wrong."
I don't think I did see that.
Well, he did, and there's a lot.
You mean when we got fired because he told the woman to stay in the kitchen and feed her kids?
Yep.
You mean like that?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering. Wasn't sure, but I had a hunch that might have been it.
I mean, there's some other things like defending DK through and through, but yeah.
Through and through. Through and through. Or, all the tweets about the strippers and the porn stars.
And little girl voices. Ugh.
Little girl voices. That's all.
Cringe.
That was
That's all. Like Cagney tweets, "You're not coming to Blush in Pittsburgh. Why not?" Like the Bonnie Rotten, magnificent in her first show at Blush. Impossible body, so youthful and athletic. Like Alexis Ford, looks unreal. Go see her Blush through Saturday. Big boobs, ass, and lips. Nobody hotter. If God designed a porn star, she'd look like Alexis.
So
I don't know. Just those things, maybe.
Do you
Riley
have
Steele
tweets
at
pulled up in
Blush,
front of
June
you?
27th through 29th. I am trembling. Thanks
You
to
just
the
had these
beautiful
printed
Pete
out?
Jones for appearing. Go to Blush, invest $100. Lap dance ecstasy.
He had this ready.
I don't know. Maybe those things.
What is happening?
He had this ready. He had a whole sheet of tweets.
Alexis
of
Ford,
spreadsheets.
Blush Exotic, Thursday. Try to wear almost nothing. I'll see you at Blush tomorrow night.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Title of this episode: Mark Madden. Smart. Oh,
Blush.
man.
Title
Oh.
of Blush.
Sponsored by Blush Exotica.
No free ads.
Thank you for wearing almost nothing, Alexis Ford. See you tomorrow night at Blush. Keep those nipples hard.
Oh god.
What?
Okay. Okay. We gotta stop. We gotta stop. We gotta stop.
We'll move on.
Okay. Something else.
So I have two more things in the NFL real quick. Roquan Smith finally signed.
Yeah, I did.
Was holding out because of the new helmet rule, which we saw in the preseason and looked absolutely terrible.
Yep.
The way it's being officiated. And also Aaron Donald looks like he did get his extension for about $24 million a year, if that report holds true.
Oh, snap, that happened.
Wow.
It sounds like it's close. Yeah.
That's
And
impressive.
somewhere between 65 and 70 million guaranteed. So he's essentially a quarterback now.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, when you're not even arguably, you are the best at your position. You probably deserve that money.
Yeah, I mean, I'm for him getting paid that way. It's just gonna be. I'm so curious to see what the Rams have to do in like 2 years.
Yeah, really.
I mean, they have him and Gurley, but like they don't have Goff on a deal yet past his rookie contract. There's more money right there. It's going to be interesting to see what they have to maneuver around. But alrighty, I don't know. There's not a whole lot in the NHL. Dylan Larkin got a 5-year extension with the Red Wings. That's about it.
Ew.
Other than that, nothing happened.
Why are the Red Wings signing these guys?
I don't know.
It makes zero sense. They need to just burn the whole thing down.
He's so fast. They should have traded him to Pittsburgh.
I
That's
What's his
what they
cap
should
hit
have done.
now?
That's a good question. I just know he signed for 5 years. Give me 1 second.
And then here in a second, I want to do something with the Nardo.
5 years, $30.5 million. So, cap hit is 6.1 each year.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
not bad. Not terrible. All right. What do you want to do? What did you say you wanted to do?
Actually, I might have to wait till later, towards the end. But it's
All right.
the idea I
All
had
right.
before the show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Chance the Rapper style.
Yes. Let's do that hockey.
Alrighty.
Yeah, keep going. We'll do it later.
All right. So it's time to talk baseball, which we were hoping to have a little bit of a different view on baseball, but we didn't get that. So now we have an even different view on baseball. We don't
Baseball
have
sucks.
Travis Swaggerty, but we have Anthony Darda. What's that?
Baseball's overrated. Baseball's boring.
Oh. Okay.
Well, today's show's over.
And that's the end of the show.
There you go.
Did we just – it's total opposite. You guys transformed Tyler somehow into Darda's dugout to, like, the happiest. And now you come on here and baseball's boring to you?
Right.
Yeah, it's bad, man. All the analytics, all the biometrics, it's a terrible game.
Oh. All right. Well, joining us now in Around the 412 is Jason Worth.
Oh, wow. I forgot about that.
Yeah. What do you make of that?
Tell me about that, actually. I'm not really up on the whole Jason Worth, but I assume I know what it's about.
So I want to go and look at the actual article, but I put it in here just because he basically said that analytics and the nerds who are so invested in them are ruining the game of baseball.
Great. Is that maybe why he's not in baseball anymore?
Probably.
Is that maybe why it's now proven, when everyone thought it was at the time that he got signed to that contract was horrible?
Hey, Greg Brown knew.
Yeah,
Did he? Did he know?
Greg Brown. Have you ever heard Greg Brown talk about it? He has like a vendetta against Jason Worth,
I guess
And I
I
don't
never
know
picked
why.
up on that. No.
and I don't know why. Evil Neil's talked about it a little bit
It's great.
on Twitter. It really doesn't make sense. But he just continually it's not Jason Worth's fault that he signed that contract.
Yeah.
That he got that contract. I mean, this is his fault. This stupid ass opinion.
Yeah.
But the contract wasn't his fault, and he just continuously ripped him for it. All right. So where was it? It's coming up here soon.
I remember Worth getting his glove stolen at PNC Park by a group of fans when he was still on the Phillies.
It was probably Greg Brown. On the way it sounds. Greg Brown paid some kids.
Yeah, right?
Okay, Jason Worth is on what you might call a forced hiatus from baseball for the moment. Don't expect to see him join any front offices unless he changes his philosophy on how players are evaluated. Jason Worth said, in quotes, "They've got all these super nerds, as I call them, in the front office now that know nothing about actual baseball, but they like to project numbers and project players. I think it's killing the game. It's to the point where they should just put computers out there, just put laptops and whatever just put them out there and let them play. We don't even need to go out there anymore. It's a joke."
God, he's stupid.
So, I mean, I assume you want my take on this.
Yeah.
After the Mark Madden rant, I'm not sure.
It's right. It's an interesting time to talk about this, right? Because I think we're at the point where everyone is at least familiar, as at least recognize a lot of like the analytics, the in-depth ones. Maybe 4 years ago, people just started hearing about WAR, and now people I think know maybe what like weighted run created plus is, UZR. I mean, BABIP. I think people are getting more accustomed to seeing this stuff. 5 years ago, people would just, what's analytics? Have no idea about it, right? Batting average is key, on base percentage, and that's really what you look at. So, I think it's because everyone is more familiar with it. It's such a big topic now, and I love analytics. I think it's fantastic. It's awesome. I think it helps people actually who maybe don't understand the game, maybe to understand it a little bit better. To be honest, and maybe like the downfall to it is the people who think it's the end all be all, right? So I can get on board with Jason Worth if he just thinks that people who don't understand baseball and just look at analytics and just analyze the game that way, it takes away from it. Yeah, I do believe so, because there is an eye test. There's an understanding of the game that you lose in just looking at numbers. But they both play together very well. I made a joke today on, my Twitter account is more or less just to understand this. The joke was, I think my car is running out of oil. I wish I had an instrument to tell me that, to back up my eye test. And to me, that's like what analytics are. Like you have the eye test, you have scouts, you have this information to look and see, is this guy a good baseball player or not? And then you have numbers to either help validate it for you or help expose something for you that you didn't recognize in the eye test. And I think that's what the analytics come into play. And that's what you see. You see clubs heavily investing into analytics. They're not getting rid of their scouting department, though. They're working hand in hand with each other. The scouts come in and say, this guy's a 55, rated player on the 20 to 80 scale. And the analytics come in and they say, well, here's some flaws. Here's this, here's that. And then you have a better understanding of this player. I think they work great hand in hand. But you can't have one without the other. And these people are just getting lost. The game back in the day, we pitched 300 innings and we never went, without a complete game. And these guys are soft and they're weak. And you have analytics saying that there's better, more efficient ways to use these pitchers and batters and whatever. And
holy
that's
hell,
what's great for the game.
What did you just do, Smitty?
What?
What was that noise?
What noise?
It sounded like a bag was just opened.
I don't know. Denard, did you hear something?
I did.
I have no idea what it was. I didn't press it. I didn't do anything. I literally just had my phone in my hand the entire time looking at the list.
I just wanted to make sure somebody acknowledged it, so keep going.
But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys pick up
from that? From the whole work thing? At that point, I mean, I've always preferred the eye test just because at some point there are outliers where you're going to say something you're just completely wrong. Like yesterday, what was it? It was a North Shore 9 liked tweet that I saw. It was a bunch of pitchers and their contracts, and Trevor Williams was like the worst name on there but had some of the best numbers. And I had the spend money thing.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, and our buddy Sarge said, Tell me that in this offseason any one of them wouldn't have been better than our pitchers. I said, well, technically they're not and still aren't. And he said, what did he say? You wouldn't – was it Arrieta? You would rather – you wouldn't want Arrieta over our 5-starter? I'm like, well, technically Trevor Williams is our 5-starter, but I'll take Arrieta over Nova. And I thought he only had a good April, May. I didn't know he was absolutely slaughtering in July.
Who's that?
Arrieta.
Yeah. Now that was the thing. I highlighted all the major key free agent pitchers. So it was Arrieta, it was Lance Lynn, it was Alex Cobb, Yu Darvish, and then I put in Trevor Williams because the talk was no contending team would ever have a Trevor Williams in the rotation. And the Pirates need to go out there and get a pitcher. And I highlighted all those pitchers. And the only one that was actually productive was Arrieta. He had a 10 ERA at the time, and then yesterday got lit up by the Padres, so now it's like a 3.33. But I mean, he's still better than Trevor Williams, obviously. But I don't know if I was ready and willing to invest into a declining Jake Arrieta, $25 million a year.
Exactly.
to find out.
Exactly. I get that people think spending money equates to winning, but whenever you're thinking about throwing $15 million at a man that is 33 and started declining already from a season and a half ago, no thank you.
For sure.
And then actually, speaking of that, I do have a question. I just have to find it really quick. So this one's from Sarge. It's actually a surprisingly good question. Love you, Sarge. Would you rather see the Pirates or replace team sign a big name or trade for a big name? Which one of the two shows the fans that they are willing to do what it takes to be good? So I think that's a double-sided question, right?
Could you repeat that again? Actually, I didn't real quite hear it.
I know I said it a little slow. Would you rather see the Pirates in general sign a big name or trade for a big name? Which one of the two shows the fans that they are able or they are willing to do what it takes to be good? So I think there's really two questions in there, because what I would personally rather see is a trade just because it's fun, but at the same time, free agency. I kind of want to see that a little less than trades. But I can see other people saying otherwise, and then I think trades show that a team is more willing to be good than anything, just because they're willing to give up a future potential player for now, you know?
First
That's
off,
what I was just say. Oh, yep, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Smitty.
No, I was just going to say, I think that I would rather see free agency for the reason that you just said. I think that a trade shows... or at least the fans that don't actually even know what's going on. Yeah. They're just see that assets are going the other way and be like, oh my God, they're actually trying.
Yeah.
And that's why I would rather, I think that I'm always just say free agency just because we're actually not giving up assets. It's just monetary.
Yeah, I mean, I personally say trade just because I like to see Twitter burn down, but
Who doesn't?
Well, you've seen that for 20 some years.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Twitter's
I'm
not even
only
around that
20,
long.
yeah.
Twitter was blowing up in 1994. You just didn't know about it then.
yeah.
My thought, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. You know, rather have a free agent or a signing, it's all bullshit. And as a fan, if you think one equates to a team going for it more than the other, then smarten up. You know, you operate first off on roster construction, you know, and obviously if you don't have something, you're going to target it. So you look in free agency. Is there anything out there, you know? And if there's not for the position you need, actually, we kind of talked about this on the North Shore 9 too. So next year's middle infielder free agency class is like trash, right? Yeah. And it's funny because that's kind of what the Pirates need next year. Yeah, Machado, who's going to go for 10 years and $5 million a day. Like that's not happening for the Pirates. So what's remaining is kind of trash. So as a team, and you identify that, do you want to upgrade and getting barely an upgrade? I'll probably just go with what I have, or maybe make a trade. I mean, it all just depends on what's out there and what's the best situation for you. Thing about free agency is you're probably going to overpay for the production. You know, free agency to me is all just past production. And that's why you see so many guys in free agency get overpaid for what they're producing. You know, like how Herb said about how spending money just equates to, you know, winning. That's false. Just having a bigger payroll affords you the opportunity to make more mistakes. You know, so when you go out there and you sign a Jason Hayward for the Chicago Cubs at a $200 million deal, and he's essentially a replacement player, the Cubs can eat that cost and go find his other replacement because they have more of a payroll. They have more flexibility to yeah, you know, and that's the difference. Like the Pirates are $5 million while the Cubs can risk and waste, you know, $20 million.
Rusney Castillo.
There you go. My next thing was the Red Sox. Look, the whole Red Sox. Look, the Dodgers bailed the Red Sox out.
Yeah.
And they did that because they're rich. They bailed the Red Sox. The Red Sox had to do what the Pirates did with Liriano. The Red Sox did. Yeah. The team that spends $200 million. They had to do on their contracts. And luckily the Dodgers, they're printing money and able to bail them out. And that's why they are where they're at today, because they got rid of contracts, which were bad signings. So, you know, you're kind of overpaying for free agents. So the way a trade works out is you probably find someone with value. So Chris Archer is a great example. The guy's getting paid pennies for what he's producing. So now a trade becomes valuable. So I'll go ahead and give you these commodities, which are prospects. You give me your player who has good value, and then I can still afford to maybe sign some people. So I don't think you look at it anyway and say that my team is really going for it because they A, spend money, or B, trade for players. I think you look at it and see what they've done, what direction they're going. So, I mean, if you want to correlate to the Pirates, they made this trade. That's a good start. I think this sped up their window. You know, where next year, before this trade happened, you're like, I don't really know if the window is real still next year, maybe a year later. Now look at like their window's here. So now what are they going to do this offseason?
That'll be interesting. This offseason is a huge offseason.
Well, see, Denardo, I look at it the same way that you do, but like the way that the question was presented to me was like general fan perception, not necessarily what how I feel about it. Yeah. Because I agree with you. I'm not about like the big fish in free agency or anything like that because like you said, you're overpaying for past production. But I guess I'm just going based off how I feel general fan perception would be.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm telling the fans smarten up. That your perception is bullshit. So there's my answer. Smarten up. Listen to people. Stop being so closed-minded.
But the problem is the people that they listen to equate spending money with winning.
What was the second part of that?
What?
The second part of his question.
Oh, which one do you think shows the fans that they're willing to do what it takes to be good?
Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay. All right.
So
yeah, and again, like that's what think about this. If the Pirates didn't make a trade this offseason and they went out and spent $50 million, do you think the fans would say they're in it?
Probably not.
I mean, you're all right because it doesn't matter what they do. Exactly. They're always going to say this is bullshit.
It would probably just be like finally, but it's still not going to matter.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's
exactly.
kind of what was like with Archer, was where everyone went, oh, they actually did it.
Yeah. And then saying that it's still not going to matter.
Even though it definitely does.
But, all right, how did we get stuck on the Pirates? Oh, just Pirates-related question.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't even necessarily towards just the Pirates, right? That was just...
That was geared toward the
general.
Pirates, but it could have been anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel
All
the
right.
show is around the 412, so I'm trying to keep it Pirate-centric. But
Yeah.
we can talk Yankees. Isn't Sarge a Yankee fan?
Yes, he is.
So,
Okay.
I mean, look what the Yankees did. The Yankees. Look what the Yankees did.
They
I mean,
got
they're smart
smart.
enough. The Yankees went small ball, small
Yeah.
market. It's funny. Like, that's what you see. Baseball's changing. It's adapting. It's everywhere. It's not just small market. It's not just the Pirates. When people want to, complain about biometrics, I mean, every team is adapting, and the Yankees did exactly that. They completely adapted. They went small market mentality. They traded a bunch of players, got a ton of prospects, built from within. What major free agent did you see them do? I mean, yeah, they traded for Giancarlo, but it's
they were
not
the
like
only
they're
team
out
that could
there
trade
giving
for him.
these horrible contracts out anymore.
Yeah.
Teams are smartening up.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned the word biometrics, though. What do you... that's been a word that's been thrown around a lot recently. So let's going back to the Pirates. There's a lot to be made for their decision to start Clay Holmes on Friday night. And first off, what did you think when you first saw that? And then how did you react after?
So my initial reaction, just when I saw Clay Holmes, that's it, nothing afterwards, no reason, right? Just that Clay Holmes is starting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I was puzzled. Why? I'm unsure what's happening here. Is someone injured? Like, I knew Chris Archer was sick that day when he pitched, but it was like food poisoning, so I couldn't see this prolonging. So I mean, my initial reaction was kind of confusion.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it, and my initial reaction was, why not JT Brubaker?
Good call. Just named pitcher of the week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, or I mean, I understand that he didn't have the best starts up here, but I would have thought that Kingham would have gotten another start before Holmes. But did you agree with the decision after you saw like the reasoning?
No.
Donardo?
I think the best way to put it, and actually Ron was the one tweeting it mostly, but indifferent. Now that I found the reasoning behind it, I guess I could understand the reasoning. I don't have the numbers. Now, I will say Dave, Evil Neil, he did a really good piece today. So the information, I didn't know he was going to have a whole article on it. Yeah. So I'm glad he did. I did half read it. There was a lot of math and trigonometry, and that's his wheelhouse. So, but hearing the reasoning behind it, I mean, the reasoning was they've identified a problem, okay? The solution to their problem was all these players that start in Coors Field, their next start, they're not as effective, right? They've noticed something. So I can maybe understand that. I mean, Coors Field, it's a beast of its own. And if these numbers are true, if that's what the Pirates' problem they found, and here's a solution, then I'm okay with it. I'm okay with a team finding something to gain an edge. And that's what the Pirates, in my mind, tried to do. Now, if it works or not, that's a whole nother story, and it's like, that's what we'll find out. But like hearing what they did and the reason behind it, then I was like, well, okay. I went from confused to, all right, it makes sense. Let's see what happens. I wasn't like blowing down the doors and going berserk over it, at that point in time, because that was the solution to the problem they identified. Now, you can argue if they're trying to find problems and make things an issue that don't need to be, that's fine. Yeah. And that's why I'm okay to see how it plays out. To me, it's like a team like the Pirates, everyone's getting at that, they're 5 games back and every game matters and they need to go, every game at a time, and they shouldn't be doing this. They got to play their best 5 players. My eyes, I look at it, they're 5 games back. There's a lot of teams in that wild card hunt. If you really want to try to get in the playoffs, you probably got to do something different. When everyone's trying to do X, Y, Z, you need to kind of zag and do ABC. get that edge. And maybe that was their way of finding an edge. Again, it just depends if it works or not. But I won't fault them for trying. You know, as I said, this is an organization that's lost a lot of creativity over the years, in my eyes. You know, this is one of the teams that, you know, you just hyped up about how creative they were and things they're finding and edges. And that's why they're competing as a small market. And it's like they've lost that. You see all these other teams just surpassing them. So if like this is their way of saying, hey, you know what, we might sacrifice one game, but it's going to put our odds up on the next 10 to 15 games. Like, I'm okay with that. You know, I'll take those odds.
Yeah. I want to say two things. The first one, I like Tyler's tweet. I don't know if you saw it about, like, the Pirates just aren't good enough to punt as much as they do. Like, this isn't the 2015 98 win team where, you know, you can just have a game where you try something like this, I guess. I mean,
I argue and say, isn't this the time to try something like that? You know, like when you have the lead, you don't want to have the risks involved. You want to try to maintain it. But when you're 5 games back, you need to try to find some risk reward somewhere to gain that ground. You know, especially the team, in my eyes, isn't really a playoff caliber team.
Well, that's what I was going to say too.
Is
I was saying it depends on, and that's the same thing. Like I tweeted yesterday, it's like 2 out of 4 splitting with San Fran here was not good for a team. And then I said, well, for a team that actually has playoff aspirations, that is. And I don't believe that they really are. So I don't necessarily have a problem with them doing it just because, like you said, they're getting creative. And I don't know if I really see them as legitimate playoff contenders anyway. So, you know, why not try something different? If it works, then you're done with like geniuses. But I don't think that my second thing that I was going to say was I don't think that you can like be indifferent and then say you hate it if it doesn't work. Like you have to have your opinion on it regardless and not change it.
See, at this point, I don't like it just because of how it went. I understand it. It didn't work. Can't do anything about it. I'm not mad at it. Just don't like it. But the amount of people that said the Pirate season is over because they lost 2 games in San Francisco are absolutely stupid. Coming up, they have 2 games against the Twins. Then after that, Cubs, Braves, Brewers, Cardinals, Braves again. And then in September, you got the Reds, Marlins, Cardinals, Brewers, Royals, Brewers, Cubs, and Reds to finish the season. They have all the time in the world, well, theoretically, to even make a run at the division because they're playing basically the Central.
Yeah, that's the one thing. They do play a lot of the teams that are in front of them or like in the mix in the playoffs as well. Mm-hmm. So there's ground to be caught. But
they're still on the outside looking in, and they're far outside, but I said at the beginning of the season,
for me, it's more so about how many teams are in front of them as opposed to how many games back.
Yeah,
right.
Let me double check that really quick.
Well, I think a little bit of both to me. I mean, the games back matter, but it's also the fact that there's a ton of teams that are jumbled there. I mean, if it was maybe 1 or 2 teams ahead of you, but you're competing with like five teams. Well, really 7 because you want to count the guys that are in the wild card, right? So, I mean, it's like half the NL is fighting for the playoffs right now,
which is insane.
It is because the league is very above average.
Like, look at the American League.
Oh, you have awesome teams in there.
Yeah.
And then the AL West, which is just, man, that race is exciting. Especially now Houston getting swept by Seattle this weekend. 4 games.
God.
Yeah, so you talk about how many teams are jumbled in like the playoff mix in the NL, and it's like the AL. Look at it's basically just 3 teams fighting for 2 of those spots. Like there's only going to be 1 team that gets left out that's a good team.
Yep. That's it. So, yeah. I mean, the playoffs are pretty much locked. Like you have the playoff picture in the AL, except for, like you said, 1 team's going to be left out. And it's probably coming out of the AL West. It's either going to be the Mariners or like the A's, because I'm sure Houston's going to lock it up. But I mean, technically, they are still fighting. Yeah. But in the NL, nothing's locked up. Nothing's safe.
No. And I mean, looking at the standings now, there are only 3 or 4 series left this year that the Pirates play a team that are behind them.
Yeah,
mainly the
matter.
Reds, right? Yeah.
The Reds, Miami, and the
Twins.
Royals. Are the Twins?
What about the Twins?
I don't think so. Oh, wait, maybe.
The Twins should be.
Oh, they are. Yeah, they are.
But theoretically, I mean, it's not the same league.
Yeah. So
I mean, I don't know how you want to perceive that. But.
Yeah.
I just thought you were going to say under 500.
No, I didn't even notice the Twins record. That was my bad.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, my biggest thing is just I don't think you can look at it and be like, oh, this is cool. I like what they're doing, trying to set up, like, give the guys extra days rest, plus you're setting up your best pitchers for your biggest series, and then it doesn't work, and you're like, oh my god, I hate it. Why they do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the one thing I correlate this to kind of put in like some of perspective is think about when Kutch was struggling, when Marte was struggling, the 78th time Polanco was struggling. Yeah, like what did the Pirates do? They pretty much sat them for a series, right? Now you could argue that you play your 9 best players, right? So you can make the argument that they've done they've done this tactic already, except it's not really like a batch of pitchers. It's been everyday players, and the hitters. But what has happened after that? Kutch sat down, right, in Atlanta twice, back-to-back seasons.
Yeah.
And he went on fire. Marte sat, right, when he was a liability. Came back on fire, right? Almost the same time Polanco sat. Came back, and he's been on fire since. So, to me, like, that's that risk-reward. That's that investment thing. Like, the investment is I sit down this player, right? So, maybe for these next 3 games, these, hitters are on the bench, or this one game that all these pitchers are backed up for, right? We might sacrifice a little bit, but the investment on my return for the next month, right, outweighs that. So maybe we can punt on this one game, but now our odds go that for the next 30 games, instead of, the projections that we win 15 the next 30, maybe we can squeeze out 18 or 19 out the next 30. To me, that's that risk reward that pays off. So that's like you're saying, like, I can't really hate them for trying. If it works, and if it doesn't work, it's just we're going to figure out and find out. I think Joe Musgrove pitched a hell of a game, by the way.
He did.
Yeah.
And
I was going to say, too, philosophy part of that aside, that game, they still scored 10 runs and could have won.
I know. That
potentially, if not for like Casey Sadler coming in and pitching just as terrible, maybe worse than Clay Holmes did, and then getting 2 at-bats as well. With runners in scoring position, I might add.
Yeah.
Clint Hurdle botched that game.
I think it was a combination. It was just a bad game. It's a combination of like everything. I mean, the fact that Clay Holmes did start and he shit the bed, and then Sadler came in and shit the bed. Like who would have predicted that the Pirates would have scored 10 runs though?
Yeah, it's also, in my opinion, a game like that, it's either early on in the game, whenever you first take Holmes out, you either are going to curl up and forfeit, or if you're in a situation where you are scoring runs, you may as well take all the runs you can get.
Yeah.
And they didn't, yet they somehow got 10.
Yeah, and just like one last thing I want to drop in here too. So, I mean, the whole thing about the pitchers being rested, you can play into the whole Colorado thing, give them some extra rest, right? Set them up for the the remainder of the season. But another thing too is when you look at these guys' numbers, I know some will be kind of short sample, but when these guys goes from 5 days making a start to 6 days, right? These pitchers getting an extra day of rest. Archer's ERA drops by 0.6. Trevor Williams drops by 2.5 runs. Ivan Nova drops by 1.1 runs. And so Tyons actually increases by 0.6. He's like the anomaly here. But that's big. I mean, for them 3, like 0.6, 2.5, 1.1. So you see actually these guys benefit when they've had that extra day of rest. So that's why I wasn't like,
look what Williams
totally
did.
Hating it. Oh, Williams, I mean, he's been fantastic. So, that's been like the narrative. Well, he's been pitching this good, so it doesn't matter. Well, I mean, he still continued it.
Yeah. So, all right, we can get off the Pirates now. Just a little bit of a baseball rundown now to end the baseball talk. Leonis Martin had a very weird condition, apparently. I mean, it just came out today that he had bacterial virus or whatever.
Oh, did he have the Marion Hossa thing?
That was like life threatening.
Oh,
Right.
no, never mind. That was worse.
No. Yeah. Yeah, it was because no one knew really what like the situation was, and then Francona said, if you are somebody that believes in prayer, please say a prayer for Leonis. And it was like, oh, geez, it's like that serious.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's in stable condition now, though. So, shout out to him. David Wright is playing baseball again for the first time in,
We were in 2003.
Two full years. Has it been 2 full years?
I think it's been longer.
Or just
16, yeah, I believe. Yep.
Okay. Justin Bour got traded to the Phillies.
Yes, he did.
Nice. That was a steal.
Get ready to eat a Ryan Howard jersey, Smitty.
I don't know how it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, it has to. I just don't know how.
So I forget. Do you have to eat the shirt if they make the World Series or win it?
No.
If they win their division.
Win the division.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Might get that
I
Ryan
need the
jersey come back
Braves
with.
I need the Braves to pull some magic here.
Yeah,
The Nats aren't going to.
Well, Tuki Desant pitching today. Lights out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
King Felix no longer in the rotation for the time being. He swears he'll be back. And that's sad to see.
It is.
Like my entire life, he's just been so dominant, and then boom.
Like David said, they finally make the playoffs, and he doesn't deserve to be in the rotation.
Yeah. Kenley Jansen's going to be out
How long?
with a regular heartbeat. What was it? At least a month.
Oh, yeah.
And then something. So I have a question, but before that, something I want to talk about that I'm sure, Denardo, you're going to have to tell Nugent to listen to this episode. What do you make of the walk-off home run and the celebration to follow?
It was exciting. I can't fault anyone for not being excited about that. Baseball should be fun, and that was a fun moment.
The game.
So bullshit. We need more of that.
I was cracking
everything
up
that we talk about like personality, like Jalen Ramsey. The personality of football, like you said, they're afforded more of that opportunity to do it. We do. We need more of that in baseball. We need more personalities.
Mm-hmm.
There's something that people can grasp onto these players. That's why I say, like with baseball. I mean, we really think about it. Like Mike Trout's your best player. Mike Trout legitimately could be the best athlete in all sports, right? There was a tweet recently, I want to say like the last 3 weeks, about like comparing Mike Trout or LeBron, like who's more important. I think it's Trout. I really do. I mean, just how good he is above everyone else. You can argue almost every year about LeBron James and someone else, being the MVP or whatever. And it's like every year Mike Trout just is almost hands it above everyone.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, Mike Trout isn't relatable. No one, there's no personality. And MLB doesn't really promote that, Think about when Jose Batista got socked by Odor.
Oh.
Baseball was fun again.
Yeah.
As sad as it is, it took someone to knock someone out. Baseball was fun, and it started when Jose Batista bat flipped that in Toronto. That was a huge moment in that ball game. And people like today, right now, we're still talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
You need more of them moments. You need more personality in baseball.
Yeah, I always say, and I know it's probably for the better that it happened, but baseball killed itself whenever they took out the roids. Because I mean, that's when the popularity was at its height. That's when everyone was losing their mind watching balls fly 500 feet, watching everyone fight. I mean, it's for the better that they banned enhancements. Excuse me, almost died, but they killed the popularity right then and there.
That's a discussion for a different day.
Fair enough.
I still just think there's more other ways to do it, and it's just management of MLB. It's the old heads. It's the old heads.
Agreed.
So I want to end this with 2 questions, and the one I almost forgot, but until you start talking about marketing and popularity of the sport, it reminded me. But first, I want that to be the last one. So first, if you were starting an MLB team, I know this is going to be tough for Denardo. You can only pick one to start your team with. Is it Soto, Torres, Vlad Jr., or Acuna?
Vlad Jr.
That's so tough. Am I an AL or NL team?
Oh my God.
Honestly, the reason I say that is because Vlad. I mean, guy's a beast, but I don't know if he's going to be playing a position in a few years. I mean, that could be the next David.
Okay, well
Ortiz.
then I'll say AL because that means it doesn't matter.
You know I love Juan Soto, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard.
But God, do I love Vlad too. And it's funny because we had this we had a segment on my Deno's Dugout show. I want to say off season, maybe 6-8 months ago, something like that. And we talked about who's going to be the future stars in 5 years. And it's funny because Wagner to Kutch, the other Tyler. All Tylers are trash though, but the other Tyler.
Agreed.
He said Vlad Jr. and I also said Vlad Jr. So I do love Vlad.
And I'm going Vlad Jr.
But I see him being a DH probably most of his life. I'm gonna go with Juan Soto. I gotta stick with my boy Juan Soto, baby. I'm all in on Soto.
I've heard.
So good too.
Oh my God. Did you see the stare down? Speaking of the Cubs.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, the guy. Okay, personality. He might have that too. So after every pitch, he just stared down Kinsler. It was hilarious, and Kinsler walked off.
Oh yeah.
It was fantastic. And
Poor
it was
teammates.
like the snarl on his face, and it was immediate. Like the ball went, and I mean, you ever see that gopher? The music where the gopher turns behind him and stares you down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what he looked like. As soon as the ball went, I mean, his head just quickly flicked to the pitcher and just stared at him every time.
That's
It's
awesome.
hilarious.
By the way,
But yeah, man,
I didn't
his
answer
walk rate, incredible.
I didn't answer the first question about the Cubs game. 1, shouldn't have to apologize. That was incredible. 2, I hate the Cubs.
No.
They're the luckiest team on God's green earth ever. Ever.
And who are you taking in this?
Vlad Jr.
Okay. And my last question, because we talked about, marketing, fandom, and baseball, and we've already at one point in the show also brought up analytics. Do you think for a sport that is struggling to bring in fans, it maybe pushes them away when you are asking them to understand more, such as analytics?
Let me ask you this. Who are the big people that don't like the analytics?
The old white dudes.
I think that answers your question.
Well, I mean,
The generation that pretty much hates the analytics, and I mean, it's labeling, right? I know there's obviously differences and everything, but for the most part, the people that hate the analytics, that are completely opposed to it, is the older generation, which won't be here. And the people that are more open and embracing the analytics is the younger generation. So I think, honestly, they need to appeal to the analytical people because that's your new fan of baseball.
yeah. I mean, at the same time, though, you have the younger generations and everything, like kids my age that if they aren't generally speaking baseball fans and they're trying to get into it, I think some of the analytics might be too in depth for them and drive them away because there's too much to understand.
Well, I mean, you're absolutely right. What I just want to say is, like, I don't think you drive out analytics in baseball because it's making the game bad.
Oh yeah, no.
Because the people that do enjoy the analytics are the newer crowd.
Yeah.
But what I've talked about on our show as well, what I really think baseball needs to do is baseball needs to target the youth. What I truly think, and what's funny, I hate to just always compare and say this, but I made a tweet out today on North Shore 9, and it was, what moments made you like baseball?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what's really funny. Like the responses I've been getting, it's when I was with my grandfather. It's when I played this, when I did that.
Yeah.
Everything was at this young age. And baseball is dying in many people's eyes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to say it's dying. It's growing every year. But if you really want to get people involved in baseball, it's the moments when they're a kid that they get attached to the game, whether they're playing it, watching it. Baseball needs to invest in the youth. They really do. I mean, they're getting trucks of money every day. They need to go out there and invest. They need to get leagues going. They need to get these kids involved in the game so they'll like it. So when they become older, they're going to be watching it and not the NFL and the NBA, which the NFL is dying. This is the exact moment to capitalize in baseball right now.
It is.
People do not want their kids playing football. Get them playing baseball. MLB, open your eyes up and get some leagues going. Invest it. Invest in the youth.
All right. Well,
was gonna say, I think you have your answer there, Smitty.
No, I mean, I agree. I just I think, like you said, it's just Herb, like you said. I think that some of these advanced statistics are just hard to understand. So, like at such a young age, you aren't even gonna know what they are. And that's, I guess what I mean.
I can just imagine some 6-year-old going, "What's XFIP?"
Yeah.
And I don't expect them to know that at all. I mean, that's not what I'm
Yeah.
preaching here at any rate.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to learn the game first.
Yeah.
But I just think that, I don't think you push analytics out of the game because that's
no,
the new
I'm
wave.
not saying that, but I guess I'm saying, like, I don't even know how I want to word this.
Mitty, speechless? What happened?
Did we? Well, did you? Okay, the episode of your show that Tyler and I did, we kind of talked about this. Like,
Yes.
Are analytics like too emphasized to a degree where they're pushing people out? Like, is there more of a happy medium than people tend to? I don't know.
Well, isn't that kind of on you, though? I mean, do you want the happy medium?
I definitely do.
Maybe
leaning a little more to one side,
yeah.
but
And I think that's why I said earlier too, like when I talked about them, I was like, I mean, it's not the end all be all analytics. I mean, you do need both, but I think there was a happy medium behind it. And I think the way analytics should be used is, like I said, you have your eye test. Like you look at Jordy Mercer and you say, well, dude, this guy gets every ball. He must be a good shortstop. And then you look at analytics like, oh, well, he can only move 3 steps. So that's why he looks and appears to be good. And now I've realized that my eyes have deceived me, and this is why actually is bad. It's like the analytics should just be supporting what your theory is.
God, don't let Sam hear this.
and that's why I think it's a great tool. Like I shouldn't just look at analytics and say, oh, this guy's this, because the eye test can tell you something different as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what, like, to me, the analytics is to be used to prove your theory. And if it debunks it, then you reanalyze your theory, and the analytics can prove that one. You know what I mean? You have to find that happy medium.
And I mean, there are always outliers, so obviously someone somewhere is going to make fun of you when you're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, a guy's batting 400, and you realize it's like, wow, this guy's the luckiest hitter in the world. Because his BABIP's so high. Like now I understand why.
Adam Frazier.
So I could probably see some regression. And when you do see it, you can see, you can kind of pat yourself on the back. Like, I saw that. I saw that happening. I could be a scout. But it's like that's how it can relate. Like you can understand things now a little bit better.
Speaking of BABIP, is Adam Frazier still insane or no?
He hasn't been. I can look it up right now.
I was gonna say he's seemed like an actually good baseball player since he got called back up.
Right? Because he is.
David.
Because he can hit David.
The fact the Pirates got on him is incredible. I can't believe
so
we didn't
he's
talk
actually
about
at a 320 BABIP right now.
fair
So
enough.
yeah, it's nothing extreme. Like in the minors, I mean, it was ridiculously high. 360, 360, 369,
Nice.
444. Well, that's 13 plate appearances, but yeah. So I mean, it's normalized.
Yeah. Well, that'll be interesting.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else.
Really? Okay. Well, I want my last thing. I have a little game for Donardo.
Wait, did you bring up any of the questions?
No, I thought you were going to. Whoops, I didn't even notice. Let me go to those real quick.
Yeah.
Well, this shows you how ragtag the show is, by the way.
Wasn't that Tyler's job?
Normally
Normally
not like this.
Blame Tyler?
No, yeah, they're normally at the top of the list for the show, but the thing is, you introduced it, so it kind of threw me off.
Oh, yeah.
Evil Neil said our eyebrows facial hair.
No.
I mean, technically it is, right? I guess if you want to get technical.
Isn't the technicality
facial
facial
hair.
hair something that happens once you hit puberty?
I think eyebrows are a thing of their own. Kind of like a hot dog not being a sandwich, thing of its own.
Okay.
So-
That's the best, that's the best I abstain kind of answer.
Yeah, it's a thing of its own.
I like that question, though. I'm definitely going to look into that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes, because technically it's on my face, it's facial hair, but I don't identify. My eyebrows don't identify as facial hair. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. There are a couple. I'm going to start with one I legally cannot answer. What's the best beer?
Go ahead, Donardo.
I know it's like a cop-out answer, but to me, the best beer is the next beer that I haven't had yet. So I just enjoy trying new, different beers. I love beer, but I'm more into less IPAs. I used to like them, but I get headaches now. More into a dark beer. So almost like the
Gross.
darker, the better for me. Get your Coors Light shit out of here.
Ooh.
Oh, Budweiser. Oh, I got my
Ew.
Budweiser lime. Budweiser orange. I even like
Bud
real
Light.
beer. I get fake beer and I got to flavor it.
First off, I hate Coors Light. It's terrible.
Good.
Second off, I don't like any beer really in general. But
And you don't do shots. So what do you drink? Smirnoff.
mixed drinks. Huh?
I said you don't do shots either. So what do you do? Drink Smirnoff?
Yeah. No.
You get iced?
Do I get iced? I've only been iced, I think, one time. But anyway, if I had to pick beer,
think?
I mean, I liked Land Shark, and kind of the same with Corona, kind of the same deal there, Cerveza.
Well, I mean, in 3 months I'll be able to answer since I work in a beer distributor. So
Nice. Blue Moon's okay.
Sam Adams? Question mark.
Oktoberfest. Sam Adams.
I was just say only like seasonal.
That seasonal.
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
Okay.
As much as I said like dark beer, I'll tell you, man, like a beer I do really enjoy drinking is Summer Shandy.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, that's fine. Longitudinal Summer Shandy.
Yeah.
And then the next question.
Well, okay, if that's beer, is Reds?
Good. Well,
No, it's a
Bernardo?
cider. It's a cider. Just
Apple
like your
ale?
woodchuck. Just like, no. I don't
All
consider
right.
that.
okay, I have to ask this now when I go to work. I have to ask the manager this now. Is Red's beer?
Technically it is, but
He will confirm.
Fair enough.
My phone's about to die.
Well, you'll be fine. We're wrapping up here soon. Next question. Zach Naden. Pirates alternate red vest circa 2008-ish. Yay or nay? Yay all day. Bring them back.
Yeah, sure.
maybe for a game. Just for a token jersey.
Wait,
them
yeah,
back
how long we
forever.
talk? Because I wouldn't replace any of the jerseys that we have now. Like, I don't want to take them in place of the black or the Sunday alternates. So
I'm going to be honest.
if we were to talk about adding them,
I want to add them, but I would replace them with the camo jerseys.
What do you guys think of the new camo opposed to the old camo?
It's the same thing. Oh, wait.
like the jerseys that they wear on Thursday home games.
Oh, you mean like
Is
the
that what we're
older
talking
ones?
right now?
Yeah. Like the older ones that were like legitimately camo, not the stupid name and numbers are colored.
Yeah,
Yeah, I prefer the older ones.
same.
Smitty?
I guess me too. I mean, I don't mind these. I kind of like the ones they wear on Thursdays, though.
Me.
They look good in person.
I actually haven't seen a game on a Thursday in a while, so that might be part of the reason.
I mean, like my dad has a Thursday jersey, and I like the way it looks in person.
Oh,
yeah.
fair enough.
I don't know if I've been to a Thursday game either, but all right.
Next
Next.
question. I'm the only one who can answer. Who's going to be sitting on the Iron Throne at the end of Game of Thrones? Jon Snow. Jon Targaryen, sorry.
I don't give a damn.
You need to be cultured and watch the show.
There we go.
Never. Next.
And then that's it. That is
I
it.
thought Jonesy had a question. Oh, Jonesy, you take
No,
forever, though.
he asked which part of North Shore 9 was going to be on.
No, he said, what is the one rule of any of the four major sports you'd change?
Oh.
God. That
The
take
blocking
way
home,
too
the
long.
posy rule. That's it. The posy rule.
Foul balls. Get rid of them.
What's the
No,
fourth major sport? I only
Not
recognize
basketball.
3.
Yeah, not
Shut
basketball.
up.
I don't know. I would need more time, I guess, to think about that.
Yeah, I mean, you can answer it on your own show on Thursday.
The new helmet rule in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah. From what I've seen about that, that's for sure.
Okay, and then really quick, I want to do a little game with Leonardo since he's not too big of a hockey
Jesus
guy
Christ.
or at all. I want to see if he can spell some names for me. I'm going to start off with some easier ones.
A lot of Z's and K's.
I'm going to start off with some easier ones and then work my way into the harder ones. I only have 6, and they're all kind of intermediate. So the first one is Curtis McElhaney.
McElhaney?
Yeah.
MACH
Holy wrong.
ELLANY.
Holy wrong. MCELHINNEY.
I would not have spelled that correct.
So McElhaney.
Yeah.
He spelled his name wrong.
Next one.
How American of me.
Yeah, right. Travis Konechny.
Konechny.
Yes.
Pass.
It's actually not that hard.
Konechny?
Yes.
Say it again.
Konechny.
And the origin of the word. And can you say it in a sentence?
I don't know.
Konechny. CK. I have no idea, man.
KONECNY.
Okay.
And this is where it's going to start getting a little hard for you. Jonathan Marchessault.
Marchessault?
Yep.
MARZ.
Nope.
No.
March.
Okay. March is though?
Yes.
MARCH.
Yep. You're about to get fucked.
OIUWB.
You punted.
I did.
MARCHESSAULT. It's French.
Martian salt.
Yeah.
Marchessault.
And then my 3 favorite here, Mika Zubinajad.
Oh my god.
Bless you.
Gotta catch them all.
Say that again.
Mika.
Mika Zubinajad.
Mita Chew.
So it's one word. Mika.
Well, no,
Zabina.
Mika's the first name. Zubinajad is the last name.
Zabinajad. So Zabinajad.
Yes.
Z.
This
Correct.
is actually really simple if you think about it.
Zabina. So like ZABINA.
Really close.
ZEB. ZYB.
It's ZIB.
ZIB.
Uh-huh. Zubinajad.
Zabina. Jad. JAD.
What was the middle?
Zabina. JAD.
ZIBANEJAD. So you were close, I think. So there's that one. I don't know which one to do here. I'm gonna do this one. It'll be the last name. The last one you have to spell the full name. Jesse Puljujärvi.
Jesse. JESSE.
Yeah.
Thank God.
What if it wasn't?
And what's
Just
the last
one
name?
S.
Puljujärvi.
Puljujärvi.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's Italian.
I don't know where he's from.
Puljujärvi. PU.
By the way, he's from Sweden.
What'd you smell?
Oh my God. Wait. I have an IKEA like 500 feet away from me. Hold up.
P-U.
Let me look at their catalog real quick.
It's in
Puljujärvi. PA.
No. You had it right the first
You had
time.
it
We
right
said
the first
P-U.
time.
Oh, PU. PU. J.
Oh, you missed a letter. You missed a letter. Puljujärvi.
PU. What the hell letter is in there?
Puljujärvi.
L.
Yes. P-U-L-J.
Oh,
What you always hold.
PULJ. AR.
Nope. Yo, you skipped 2 letters there, though.
I give up.
P-U-L-J-U-J-A-R-V-I.
Whatever.
And I got one more. I got one more, and this might be my favorite one. You have to spell the full name. Valerie Nichushkin.
GAL.
If it helps,
E-R-I?
he's from Russia. Yes. Yes.
Okay. And
Nichushkin.
what's the last name?
Nichushkin.
Nichushkin.
Yes.
So N.
Yep.
That's sad. Like I gotta pause. Like it's clearly
N?
starts with an N, and I'm not even sure.
N?
Nichushkin.
Yeah.
N U
Oh.
Nichushkin. I don't even know.
Give me one final answer.
This is crazy.
This is too good.
Nichushkin. N Z J Y
SKJEI.
DINARDO apostrophe S DUGOUT. Nichushkin.
NICHUSHKIN. Nichushkin.
Kill me.
And that's the appropriate way to end the show. Kill me. Oh man. Incredible.
Sad.
Okay. Well, Smitty, you want to do your wrap-up thing?
All right. Well, wasn't quite Travis Swaggerty, but thank you, Anthony Dardo, for joining us. I want to give a shout-out to Travis because the reason he's not able to join us is he's playing in the All-Star game. So shout out to him. That's awesome. I also want to give another shout-out to our boy Cody Bolton, whose season was unfortunately cut short due to injury. But he'll be back better, stronger than ever next season. So, yeah, we'll let you guys know what we have going on, as always, on our Twitter updates. But until then, go buy a shirt, subscribe, like, maybe watch us on YouTube for once. I don't know.
Follow us on Twitter.
And,
follow us on Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram. Yeah, we need more followers on Instagram.
We need.
So, but all right, everybody. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
By the way, thank you, Donardo.
Hey, thank you guys.
Who?
Tyler. You said Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler. Sorry. See you next week.
Gray skies are drifting